Ogadi, can they see you from MCR? Can they see you from MCR? Why is that place silent? I can't hear you guys. Now,
It's go up and on.
okay.
It goes off and
Does it?
that's what I see it now.
Yeah. Is it somebody doing it there?
Yes, the button which you press.
Oh, okay, okay.
Connect it off. It starts.
Yes, I've shown him his camera. Okay, so we have seconds. Times have changed indeed in Nigeria's political developments, especially in the constitution of the political class. Over the years, career politics has gradually begun to give way to the involvement of professionals in leadership. Politics is no longer an exclusive preserve for politicians, but open opportunity for all to serve in different capacities. There are now businessmen, medical doctors, engineers, lecturers, clergymen, and people with diverse other professional backgrounds. As much as this may seem like a positive development, how the involvement of professionals in politics has translated to improved quality of leadership across board is a different matter. On this episode of the program, we shall be interrogating a particular case of professionals in politics and how that will produce the much needed effective representation of the needs, interests, and aspirations of the people. My name is Onengiye Fineface, and this is The Ballot. It seems I got carried away by the politics of the National Assembly. This is not the ballot, this is the mandate. And my guest on the program is a former banker who joined the banking industry in his early years while serving Nigeria as a National Youth Corps member. From the banking industry, he moved on to become a clergy, a minister in the House of God, and founder of the Church of the Anointing in 1997. He also started a community-based health and development organization to provide charity, especially in the area of medical services to people who do not have access to healthcare services in their community. He is Honorable Francis Ejroghene Waive, member-elect, Ureli North, Ureli South, and Udu Federal Constituency in Delta State. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Not just member-elect, I'm a
Serving member and member-elect.
Yes.
I was going
the ninth of the assembly.
Yeah, serving member in the 9th, member-elect in the 10th. And I wanted to ask, how should I address you, honorable or pastor?
I would always prefer to be called the Reverend Minister before
Oh,
the
Reverend
Honorable
Minister.
comes in. Because that's what I was before coming in. That's
Okay.
what I am. And
Okay.
that's what I will continue to be even when I leave public office.
Oh, that's great.
A
So
servant of God.
welcome to the mandate, Reverend Minister Waive.
Thank you.
Okay, I would like us to start from your emergence as a member of the All Progressives Congress, APC, in Delta, a state that could be described as a traditional stronghold of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. How did you manage to secure the mandate of your constituents, especially in this election, when the governor of your state was the running mate to the presidential candidate of the PDP?
Well, first, we must give all the glory to God. And I think our democracy has also passed to the stage where we would describe a place as the predominant area of a particular political party. You could have said that about our country even in before 2015. So change is the only thing that is constant. And the electorate are getting to a point where they are voting for individuals. And it's gradual, but we're getting there. But then I must not claim the credit alone. From my federal constituency, there are a lot of educated people, a lot of enlightened people, and a lot of people who want to see change in the way things are done, in the way our state is governed. And it's a collective effort. But that notwithstanding, like you mentioned, before coming into politics, I've been involved with my people, lived all my life in the area, and served as a minister. And then you did a lot of community service, healthcare to the poorest of the poor. So my name was already a household name, a radio minister, a newspaper columnist, before indicating interest to going to public office. So I think all this helped in 2019 and again in 2023.
Okay, so in other words, you've never been Abuja politician?
Oh, no. I've lived all my life within the federal constituency that I represent, or most of my life, really.
And that will not change now in the 10th Assembly?
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't.
Tell me, Honorable Reverend, in what ways has your current calling as a minister in the House of God rubbed off on the kind of representation he provided for the people of Ueli North, Ueli South, and Udu Federal Constituency in the 9th National Assembly?
Yes, who I am has influenced the decisions I make, the way I think, the way I comport myself, and the way I use the office for the benefit of the people.
Okay.
I'm very proud to say, anywhere, anything, any day, any time, that before my coming, all that have been there put together, they've not attracted infrastructural development as much as I have done. You talk about classrooms, block of classrooms. I've intervened in at least 15 schools in these 4 years. Reconnecting communities that were not on the national grid. I've done that to more than 10 communities. You talk about solar street lights. You talk about so many projects that we have done for the benefit of our people. And on the floor of the House, I have, to my credit, 38 bills. If you put all the bills put together from 1999 to 2019, it's not up to 38 from that federal constituency. And today the other paper has named me as one of the semi-finalists. That's in the area of lawmaking. Oversight and the representation of my people have been superb. I've been on the floor, both in committee and plenary. And my people are always pleased whenever they see me, at least they communicate that to me. To just see me attend sessions has been a thing of pleasure. And for the first time in our history, a member of the House of Representatives could attract something like tying of a road in the federal constituency. It has never happened before now.
In your federal constituency?
Yes.
Okay.
The barrister Ejroghene Street in Otokutu community in Ueli South local government. We got that done. And so many other things that we have been able to do for the benefit of our people.
Yeah.
How
have you been able to manage both responsibilities? That is that of the church and the one to the people.
Well, all the years I've been a pastor, I've always been involved in community service. providing medical care, school outreach to school children, particularly the underprivileged. So there was no migration really for me.
Okay.
It was just, so for me as a philosophy, serving the people is about the same with serving the God who made the people.
Okay.
So I serve God and I serve my people. I preach on Sundays in church, and I am also at plenary on Tuesday. And the people are assured that what government has for them gets to them. That is the difference that I bring to the table. And I'm pleased that my people have this confidence in me, and they've voted me again and again to represent the good people, the entire people of Ughelli North, Ughelli South, and to do a federal constituency.
Okay, before we go to
State.
what you have in stock for the 10th National Assembly, we want to do some kind of review of what you did in the 9th National Assembly. You served as member of several committees in the 9th National Assembly, including that of Banking, Housing, Niger Delta Development Commission, Foreign Affairs, among others.
Yes.
What impact did you make in these sectors, and how does the experience Ghana position you to do better in the 10th Assembly? I would like us to look at the sectors individually. Let's start with the impacts of your membership in the House Committee on NDDC on the improvement of the Niger Delta, where your constituency is situated.
Well, the NDDC in the last 4 years is an entity that most people from the states of the Niger Delta will not want to talk about. You know, there was no board, and it was a sole proprietorship. So it's difficult to comment on that. But we did our best when we did that investigation, which we would rather want to forget in a hurry. That's for the NDDC. For the Committee on Banking, I brought up the bill for an act to separate the office of the governor of the bank from the chairman of the board of the bank.
Okay.
The bill did not quite scale through, so I'm going to reintroduce it in the 10th Assembly. And this is because I believe Nigerians have learned from the Naira, the currency change, that putting too much power in the hands of one man, absolute power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So I'm going to reintroduce it and believe that I'm going to get the support of not just members of the Committee on Banking, but of the entire Parliament, and not just the House of Reps, but get the concurrence of the Senate, and get Mr. President to get that signed into law, so such that before such drastic measures are taken, somebody else, and I propose somebody who has been a governor of the bank before, a deputy governor of the central bank, becoming chairman of the board, and such that there can be some checks and balances there. The law, the CBN Acts, provide for biannual reports given by the CBN to the legislature. In the 4 years that I've been there, I don't know whether I've seen Mr. Governor come to give his biannual reports. So those are the kind of things I try to introduce in the 9th Assembly.
Now, the fact that you were a banker makes it understandable that you were also in the House Committee on Banking.
Yeah.
You will agree with me that of recent, beyond this issue of CBN, Nigerians have faced difficult times accessing banking services. There has been complaints about poor service delivery, wanton charges for unrendered services, failures in electronic banking systems, uncompleted or failed transactions. The list goes on and on. Did you make any contributions to address these issues, leveraging your experience as a former banker?
Well, you know, electronic banking is a little bit new in the country. When I got into banking, I first worked with New Nigeria Bank when I left secondary school, which is not part of Unity Bank. And I remember those days, we have to do everything by hand, ledger. Every on the 15th, you have to add 10 or 15% to each account for the savings and all of that. And when there is a facility, you have to keep using your hand and your calculator. And you know that machine that we used to do, you know. So electronic banking, when I got into Shenik Bank, it was an introduction to start using the computers. So now that we have gotten to the level where we are now using our phones, internet connectivity is a different ball game, and it's improving in the country at the moment. So we have challenges in those areas, no doubt, especially when we're migrating by force within a 2-3 month period.
Okay.
That became a bottleneck. which I believe that we are going to overcome. And gradually, we are already noticing improvements in electronic banking platforms.
Okay, I hear
and
you.
this will continue.
All right. You also served as Deputy Chairman as Committee on Power. What is a clog in the wheel of the sector, and what legislative opportunities are there for Nigerians to get it right in the 10th National Assembly?
Well, the House Committee on Power, it was my main committee as I served as the deputy chair. The challenge we inherited, came from the Power Sector Reform Act. Now that law had kind of privatized a part of the value chain. Take for example generation. It became a game where private individuals could invest and own generation plants. But then the transmission was solely a federal government business, no privatization. And then you have the downstream part of it, which is the distribution, where the federal government had it was a 40-60% share thing. You will agree with me that generation was not our problem when this came into operation, because we had several cases where the generation companies would generate maybe 5,000, 6,000 megawatts, but the distribution companies can take only maybe 2,000-3,000. And so there appeared not to be any progress despite the investment of government. In fact, the distribution companies did not really get involved in, investments.
Now,
rather it was government that was
moving to the
still
10th Assembly now,
Yes.
what solutions do you see coming, especially from the legislative arm of government,
Yes.
to solve this power problem once and for all?
Yes, we have one of the things that have started late in the 9th Assembly, which we are going to continue in the 10th, is to revisit the Power Sector Reform Act in such a way that one private organization, for instance, can get involved in the value chain, generate, distribute, and then generate, transmit, and distribute. And to maybe a smaller audience, a geographical area, and we'll see the difference that can make. We have experience of that already in places like Plateau State. In Edo State, the state governor has done something in that regard also. And we can see that the services are a little better. So we're revisiting that Power Sector Reform Act with a view of making this something that can happen anywhere across the country, legalizing it as it were. Even if you have your own generator, you are generating and transmitting, but at your own scale, household scale. That's the kind of revolution we are looking at. And then in the Siemens project, we are hoping that it would help the sector with the investment of that huge amount of foreign capital. We expect that in the coming months and years, we'll begin to see vast improvements in power supply.
I listened eagerly to what you're saying. I didn't hear anything about renewable energy. And then the world is shifting from fossil fuels to renewable as source of power. Why is that not mentioned in the plans you have in the for the 10th National Assembly?
Well, it's not completely out of it. If you look at the new law we are making, it's very cardinal. The challenge is that it's a new area for us as a country, and many of the solar projects appear not to last long. There's a duration challenge, a maintenance challenge with it.
But it's not limited to solar. There is biogas, biofuel from the waste we generate. There is wind. We have a lot of wind in the north, from the sea. So all of these, why are we not looking at these factors when considering solutions to the power problem in Nigeria?
Yes, all of this is embedded in the new act that we are trying to pass. The report was presented in plenary the other day, the last time the House of Representatives sat. But the challenge is for people to embrace this new technology. It takes some time. So already solar is becoming popular, and gradually wind and the others you mentioned would come on stream. But I can assure you that work is being done in these areas, and in the coming years, it will be a revolution. for those who grew up knowing, those of us who grew up knowing ECN, and then NEPA, and then PHCN, and then what we have today, the distribution companies.
I do know that you have ambition. In fact, that was what got me a little upset somehow at the beginning of this conversation. I was thinking about your ambition. But before I go to your ambition, I want you to give me some kind of thoughts or insights on the current leadership tussle, especially the race for the office of the Speaker of the House of Representatives, vis-a-vis the question of zoning and that of consensus candidacy.
Well, the speakership of the House of Representatives is currently a matter of public discussion. And
Yes.
we in the All Progressives Congress, we see it as a healthy development because in the sense that everybody can make their voices heard, everybody can speak, everybody can aspire. And as the majority party in parliament, it's, we see it as our baby. And we want to see a situation where the best among us will emerge as Speaker and Deputy Speaker. So you'll find well over 10 individuals have indicated interest to be Speaker. I had indicated interest for the Deputy Speakership.
Yeah, which we'll come to soonest.
Yes, because it was our sensing that that would be zoned to the South-South. But as events are unfolding, elections are being won, and we now know our strength in the various parts of the country, you'll find that the Senate, for example, the South-South seem to be grabbing that. So, and if you grab that in the South-South, it will be unfair for me to still be pushing for the Deputy Speakership in the...
Are you giving up your ambition?
Party is supreme. The party have spoken. Tajuddin Abbas for Speaker and Kalu for Deputy Speaker. I'm a party man. I have made my declaration known, my intention known, that I want to serve. I want to bring something new to the table. I want to do things differently. But when the party thinks otherwise,
So you're giving up. So you're giving up your ambition.
so the party that has given me the opportunity once and again to come to the house, and the party is saying this is what we are looking at, I must defer to the party, and I defer to the party.
You've not answered my question, sir.
I
Are you,
defer.
are you giving up your ambition to be the Deputy Speaker of the 10th?
Today, yes. But who knows what happens tomorrow? Because there will be 11th assembly, there will be a 12th assembly. But at the moment,
Okay.
the APC has named Tajuddin Abbas as from the Northwest, as the candidate of the party, and Kalu, the spokesperson, as the candidate for the Deputy Speakership.
Okay.
And I yield to my party.
What does that say about those that still agitate about the issue of zoning?
Well, until very, very recently, I was still agitating. And there are many who are still agitating, according to you, to use your word. But you will notice that the number will continue to drop as we get nearer the proclamation of the 10th National Assembly. The reason being that consultations are on. In politics, it's a game of give and take. Everybody wants to get it. It's who gets what, when, and how. But as you pursue it, you begin to face some realities. Some discussions takes place. You give and you take. Today, if you give, tomorrow you take. And that's how it goes. For me, politics is not a do-or-die affair.
Exactly.
I want the privilege to be able to bring good to my people. And then, very importantly to me, the scenario of 2015, where the budget of this country was delayed sometimes for as long as 6 months. No. That will not happen under my watch.
Okay.
I believe that the country suffered, the economy suffered. When two elephants are fighting, it's the grass that suffers. That should not happen in 2023. And if I am in a position that God has enabled me to be in, I should not allow 2015 to repeat itself in 2023.
One quick question. You had hoped to be the Deputy Speaker. Now you have given that up. So let's look at, briefly, in 30 seconds, if you can, what difference you'll be bringing to the table for your people in the 10th Assembly?
Well, there are some of
30
my
seconds.
bills. Some of my bills that pass the establishment bills, like the establishment of the Federal Medical Center in Omia,
Okay.
the College of Nursing and Midwifery in Otugeme. These
Okay.
passed first, second, third reading. I mean, passed in the House, but they didn't get Mr. President's assent. Some such bills I intend to reintroduce. The bill on the exemption of the police from the compulsory pension
I said 30
scheme.
seconds. I'm
Yeah.
taking almost 3 minutes now.
I'm a politician and
Yes.
a pastor, so
Unfortunately,
it's my
we
job.
might not be able to continue the conversation on this episode of the program. Maybe we'll find time to look at other issues. I really wanted to take the conversation to what you would do if you were elected deputy speaker, but that is by the side now, because like you said, party is
It's
supreme.
Yes.
Honorable Reverend Gentleman Francis Ejroghene Waive. I got it right, yeah?
Yes.
Member-elect, Ughelli North, Ughelli South, and Udu Federal Constituency of Delta State. Many thanks for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
And I wish you plenty of luck on your term in the 10th National Assembly.
Thank you.
This is it on the program. The mandate comes up Mondays at 10:05 p.m., Wednesdays and Fridays at 10:30 p.m. I'm Onegiye Fineface. Bye for now.